Grabbing my nose. Like, that's the first thing she reached for. She was like, it's so much smaller than Dad's.
Ah.
This is crazy. I didn't know noses like this existed. I know, mamas.
Noses.
Grabbing my nose. Like, that's the first thing she reached for. She was like, yo, the audio is all weird.
Yeah.
Same time.
Like the song live. Eddie watched the Mastermind do it.
Yo, this is not a trip down memory lane. Here's a little story, now let me explain. It's more of an antidote, mixed with a lot of hope. This could be a lot of folks, single parent, dead broke. Spend a lot of time alone, making beats on the phone. Daddy ain't coming home, mama trying to stay strong. But her patience is running thin, getting sick and tired of all the trouble he's in. Fussing and fighting, it's hard to make friends, and she just gotta call, he's in the office again. One more time and they might suspend. Screaming, teacher, teacher, give him one more chance. Losing all faith like he just can't win. His back's to the wall cause he following trends. Afraid to seem weak so we gotta pretend. Life out of control, can't see no end. He needs safe space, someone to relate, help him to be great. She needs safe space, someone to reward, never to ignore. They need safe space, someone to respect, open intellect. We need safe space, got to regulate, try to balance the way. We need safe space. I need safe space. I need safe space. Safe space.
Yo. Welcome everybody to the Safe Space Podcast. Super happy to be in here once again, hanging out with my people. Getting ready to have a very fun conversation.
Indeed, my friend.
We got a lot on the agenda to get through today. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. Feel like we got to introduce our guests. So I'm gonna let me see who should go first. You know what, Stevie, go ahead and start us off, man. Introduce your guests.
I have a couple of very, very special guests.
All right.
My lovely wife, Angel. And then who's on the bottle right now, Olivia Mia.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited. She was actually a surprise guest, my daughter. She was sleeping prior to this, like 3 minutes. She woke up before the show started. And I was like, oh, I guess we got a special guest. So yeah,
Let's go.
You're gonna be sleeping for this.
Yes. So yeah, she's here. We love it.
That's perfect.
But yeah, so who's next? Should we go to another very, very cool guy with two lovely ladies with him? Let's go, Haas.
Who the lovely ladies you talk about?
Ding!
Oh wow!
Hey, y'all should get them for that one.
What personality trait is that?
Hit him with the double smack.
Yeah.
Guys,
Sis,
good to see
my
you.
beautiful wife, Cynthia. My tribe, my village, my folks.
Tribe Called Quest.
Hell yeah.
I wanted to ask that.
All you, S. Dot. You on mute?
Not anymore. What's good, y'all? I'm here with my lovely wife, Bernadette, also known as Bernie.
Bernie!
What up, Bernie?
In the building.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see everybody.
Bernie in the building.
You got it in her.
Man, you know what? I'll introduce my guest, who's not really a guest, but is a guest at the same time. I don't really know how to put it, but yeah, wife is in the building. The illustrious Alicia Cherie.
Y'all here. Y'all here.
What's up?
Goody.
What up? Ellie says hi too. Hey, Ellie.
Yeah. And we have Ellie, special guest, will be joining us in the background because this is real life. So what we usually do is check-ins. So let's.
Sean Don.
Oh, Sean Don, go ahead.
Yo, I'm here. I'm
He's
here,
out of
but
space.
oh yeah, I'm always on another level. Sorry about that. But the missus, she's in the background. She might pop in. She's babysitting right now. I'm supposed to be babysitting too, but she allowed me some time and space to be in the safe space. So I'm here, but I'll go grab her in a minute and have her face pop in.
Yay!
Cool. Usually we start with some check-ins. So let's have the significant others go ahead and check in. It's 3 things. We want to know what your highs for the week were, what your lows for the week were, if there were any lows, and then what you've been doing for self-care. So we'll start with Bernie, and you can choose whoever you want to pass it to.
Okay. Yeah, so my name's Bernie. I think a high for me this week was just, I think, going to the gym, going to work every day.
Nice.
Just being able to do what I can do. I don't have any lows. And then what I'm doing for self-care is going to the gym and just being mindful of my emotions and how it can be effective towards other people.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Who are we passing it to, Ben?
I'm gonna pass it to Haskell's wife and daughter.
Somebody light skinned.
The Jacksons.
Oh, I know. Okay. My high this week is I did makeup for this short film called All In, and it was premiered at LA Live at the Regal. And so that was exciting.
Big deal.
Hey, okay, it looked good. So I was really, really excited about that. And then a low would be, I haven't been sleeping. I've been staying up till 5 a.m. It's been great, but it's not been great because I can't sleep. So I gotta take melatonin. And then was that it? Self-care? Self-care. So me and my mom been locked in. Hey. Master running 20 speed, no joke. So we sweated today. My legs was giving out. It was not okay, but that was a good self-care. Our sweat looked clean.
Hey.
It was from a deeper place. Purified. Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Amen.
So, High point, I've been really enjoying working out with Genesis. This is new for us. We started about 2 weeks ago going together, and that has been really, really nice bonding with her on that level. A low, I'm still missing the dog that I was walking for 3 years. He passed away, and so we walked at sunset every single day for 3 years, and so the evenings are kind of hard. And self-care, just in my bag. I feel good. Like drinking a gallon of water a day. I've been reading every day.
What book are you on?
I'm since April. I'm on my 5th book.
Yo.
Okay.
So I just wanted to really incorporate reading back into my life, and so
That's
that
tight.
has been wonderful.
Awesome. Who are you gonna pass it to?
Alicia.
Hey. Okay, so hi for the week. Seeing my dad. My dad popped into town for a few days. So that was cool. I think the low for the week is probably the reason he had to come to town. But things are all good. Things are cool. It's just been a hectic month, y'all. I'm over July. I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm over this month.
Yo, ain't this your birthday month?
It's my birthday month. But you know what, Sean Don? People have been the utmost disrespectful in my birthday month. And so I'm over it. So I'm going to say my low is just July. We'll leave it at that. Self-care. I started going to the gym again last week. And I've been pretty consistent. And I hadn't been in a gym since like March 2020. So it was nice to, get back in the sauna, get back into like my routine before the pandemic. And so that's been cool. That's been my self-care.
You made those fried mushrooms too, huh?
Oh, and those mushrooms. So yeah, my diet. I've been on my diet, eating well. I call myself a part-time vegan because that's really what I am. So like a lot of times I try to make good choices, but sometimes I need a steak. So, but this week and last week I've been on my vegan thing. So yeah, that's also self-care for me too, just eating well.
Nice.
Yep. Angel.
Hey
girl.
Yes. Okay. I would be celebrating this little one and seeing my family coming in town for their first birthday party.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
Low would be having to bring my family back to the airport, and then a self-care, goodness. when does that happen? I don't know. Let me see. Maybe self-care would just be spending time with my mom and my dad and my sister. That was nice, just the fact that, I got to see them in person. So yeah.
That sounds like self-care to me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, did everybody get a chance to watch last week's podcast?
I did.
No pressure.
I listened to it while I was washing dishes earlier.
Okay. All right. I appreciate one significant other for watching the podcast.
So it was my fault. It was my fault that I didn't get a chance to watch it because she kept asking me, and I just kept playing games on my phone and forgetting to send it to her.
I love that you owned up to that.
I have to. She's right here.
I love the honesty. Way to take one for the team, bro.
Yeah, man.
Right.
I messed up, bro.
Well, it's all good.
That test. So we took the test, but clearly that wasn't what we were supposed to do, I guess.
No, we're supposed to take the test.
Oh, did y'all do the Enneagram?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tried to.
I did it too.
They violated me. I did not like that.
Yeah, mine.
All the negatives they were highlighting and stuff. Like, yo, this seemed a little biased to me.
Did you take it too, Sean?
Yeah, we took it.
Yeah, mine's changed because I looked at my results from like in 2016.
You were able to see that?
Yeah, because I saved it.
Oh.
Yeah, I was a 5, and then I changed to an 8.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, I didn't know I changed once, I got married and had a kid.
Yeah, that changed probably because you became married and more of a
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was interesting, very interesting.
Wow. She trying to be like me. We're both 8 with a wing of 7.
Y'all both 8 with a wing of 7?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like your boy.
He wants to be me so bad. Be me. Genesis is a 3 too. So I was actually happy she was something different. Because if all of us
nice. That got to be a whole nother podcast, Enneagrams.
Yeah.
That's a whole different type of personality traits.
That just means that we're evolving. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there such thing as devolving?
Devolving? The solving, like an Alka-Seltzer.
Don always want to create new terms.
Yeah, I'm just making up a new word. Some people devolve.
Sean Don doing it.
All right, never mind.
Your own dictionary.
Carry on. As your words, ladies and gentlemen.
Where's Rena at? We need her. We need her.
Right.
You are losing it.
Devolving. I'm devolving right now.
Well, so our last week's conversation was about introverts, extroverts, omniverts, and there's one more. Ambiverts. So for the people who didn't watch last week's episode, Sean, Stevie, can you give us like a quick recap of what an introvert is and what an extrovert is, what an omnivert is, and what an ambivert is?
Me or Sean?
Don't go at once. Any one of you.
Go ahead, Stevie. You got this.
All right, you know what? I'll take introvert and extrovert because I didn't read up. I'm gonna be honest again. I didn't read up on omnivert or amnivert.
All right.
I saw it. I was like, oh snap! I didn't Google it. So I know extrovert. I realized that I did my own personality trait, and I'm more extrovert than introvert, which I thought I was kind of like in the middle, but I'm more extrovert. Now I'm not sure why, but extrovert is someone who's a little bit more outgoing, kind of. I would just say have a bigger personality, kind of make their presence known in a room, whereas an introvert is more reclusive. They kind of stay in their turtle shell. Not like a Ninja Turtle, but just like a real turtle. And so introverts kind of like don't like the party scene. They like that kind of hang back in a corner, not really talk, not socialize with others. Whereas extroverts, they'll kind of just walk in the room, say, "Hey, let's get the party going. That's me. That's me. That's me." All around. They're the one trying to order people drinks and whatnot. But that's really not me. So. Sean, you want to get into
right.
Yeah, so the omnivert is typically it's somebody who has both introversion and extroversion, but it's situationally. So it causes them to be either super introverted or extremely introverted. Ambiverts usually balance introversion and extroversion simultaneously, making them not seem overly introverted or extroverted. So it's a mixture.
Okay. That's dope.
So we determined that I'm an omnivert that is leaning heavier into my introverted side. Sean, what were you?
I was, I think I was probably omnivert as well, extroverted with some introverted tendencies.
Got it. And Sean, Don, you were.
I am.
Yeah.
For the sake of the podcast, I'm omnivert. I'm the vertical.
All right.
Is there any way you lean towards introversion, extroversion?
I lean towards the situation.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that non-answer.
I lean towards the situation.
I know what is that? Class.
whatever the situation calls me to be, I'll lean in. That's all I'm saying, man.
Show. Hop in the chat and let us know what that means, guys. If you know what he's talking about. Stevie, what were you?
So I actually took a personality test last night because I was just so curious. Yeah. And I hate personality tests. I never really saw any validity in it, but I took just the personality test, the Myers-Briggs, and I found out that was the ESFJA, which is leans more towards the extroverted side than the introverted side. And so I'm like 54% extrovert, and then the other 46 introvert. But when you look at the ESFJ, it fits my characteristics because it's more of like a social person who like wants social justice and kind of a therapist type person. And I realized, oh snap, it's kind of on point. So yeah.
Pascal, where were you?
I think mine was when did that ambivert, where I was
balance
all things to all situations. Like I have to become is it a comedian? And you become things depending on the situation. If I'm working with kids, I can become childlike. If I'm working with idiot adults, I can become a little stupid.
All right.
If it's very creative environment, be very creative. And if it's very serious, like political, I could jump into that lane too. So whatever that one is, I think it's the ambivert.
But is it your personality or just your work ethic?
I think it's my personality. Yeah, I think it's my personality too.
Adaptable.
Yeah,
chameleon.
All things on me. Yeah.
So to set the tone, we got to hear from all of our guests. Where do you fall in these personality traits? So Genesis, where are you at?
I think that I'm for sure naturally an extrovert because I hate awkward silence. So even if I want to be introverted, I can't because I gotta break the tension somehow. Something needs to be stirred up. I cannot. So I really like being, life of the party, very much like I'm the first person to say hi. Like I'm very outgoing. I like being outside. We outside.
But you like your alone time too.
I love
being a single
time.
Being
an only child.
Yeah,
I do have a lot of moments of just solitude where it's phone on D&D, do not talk to me. But I do think that like if someone else needs my time, I will be extroverted even if I want to revert to introversion.
Got it. Cynthia?
I think when I was younger, I was more just extroverted. And that was probably because I grew up in the military and I had to move schools a lot. And I had to make friends and, being an introvert really didn't serve me. I think as I gotten older, I'm more of an omnivert, situational omnivert.
Right.
Based on the situation, I think also being in corporate America and traveling and having to do the ha laughs and talk about things, talk about things you don't care about and engage a lot of times, that helps. My extroversion helps with that, but my only child enjoys my introvert time. Yeah.
Shout out to the only children.
Woo!
Bernie, where are you falling?
The dog's the only child.
Yeah.
She's so spoiled.
Good job, Ellie. Bertie, where do you fall on the personality traits?
I would say I am a introvert, but I think it depends on the situation. Like there's times where I could be extrovert and wanted to just talk to people, but it depends on the situation. But I think I gear more towards being an introvert.
Got it. Jill, where are you?
Oh, I'm an introvert. I guess the only real environments that I'm more extroverted in is like people that I've been knowing for, you know, a good length of time, and you know, I generally like know what I want to talk to them about in the first place.
Right.
So, yeah, outside of that, not really extroverted at all.
You got an extrovert on these drums over here now. Now we don't want to.
No.
Wild on those drums.
Yo.
Roll the clip, Haskell. No, I'm kidding.
Play the footage. Cue it up. All right. Alicia, where are you at?
Well, you know, I want to ask you, Jay, what do you think I am? Because people argue me down on what I think I am. I'm interested to know what you think.
Yeah, I think you're a omnivert who errs on the side of introversion. And yeah, you're a situational extrovert.
Okay.
That's what I think. But that's my
you know, I think before all these extra definitions were introduced, I definitely would argue people down and say that I'm an introvert. Like, I know the hair screams extrovert, but I'm really not. Like, I'm totally an introvert. I like to be left alone. But when I have a mic in my hand and I'm on a stage, obviously I have to be extroverted. And then when I come off that stage to talk to people, I have to be extroverted. But the reality is, I like being left alone. I like being in my own little world, in my own little corner, in my own little chair. And yeah, I can go days without being around people. Like, that's just who I am.
So you're creatively extroverted.
Yeah, I mean, my field forces me to be that way. But like growing up, like I was a total introvert unless you handed me a microphone. And then as soon as I got off the stage, like quiet, me and my two friends, because I was comfortable being around. I was very awkward. And so, yeah, I grew up being an introvert and wanting to be an extrovert so bad. And then when I finally got to college and got like a taste of extroversion, and I was trying to be that girl and trying to be extrovert and be the party girl and whatever, I got burnt out real quick and I went right back to my turtle shell.
Outside wasn't for you.
It just wasn't. I like inside.
It's cold outside. Except for right now.
Except for right now.
The block is hot right now.
The block is hot, which is forcing me to stay inside because it's too hot. I need to be where the AC at, where the AC resides.
So this question is for the introverted group. And the question is, what personality type do you find the most attractive? As an introvert, do you gravitate towards other people who seem introverted like you? Or are you attracted to extroverts because, you know, they're different? Or what is attractive to you? Oh, let's start with, and Angel looks kind of busy. So let's start with Angel.
You ain't right. You ain't right.
You want to answer?
I think most of my friends were extroverted growing up, and it wasn't necessarily because because I gravitated towards them. It was more like they were like, "Oh, she's the quiet girl. I'm gonna go be her friend," and I'm like, I guess. And then they would most likely shove me into like uncomfortable situations where I have to like and stuff because they're all extroverted and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is my friend Joe. She's blah blah blah. So here, talk to everyone." I'm like, okay.
There you go.
And you know, I think that you know, for the most part, now I have friends that are a mixture of both and who are a lot like me and are a little bit more chill and, you know, they're extroverted in different ways, but in some ways they are, you know, introverted. Stevie, he's mostly like he said, mostly extroverted, but he has his introverted tendencies, you know, which makes me happy that he's not so extroverted, you know.
Yeah. Extra.
She think I'm a king though.
He is.
He is.
I'll just be rehearsing for stuff. For no
Very
reason.
dramatic.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's great. I mean, you are sitting next to the king of extroversion. So
I'm not,
you know, that kind of makes sense. All right, Bernie, same question. What are you attracted to? And what is attracted to you, being an introvert?
I would say, like, definitely this guy is an extrovert. Like, he is so, like, a social butterfly. And I'm like, why do you always gotta talk to people? Like, you don't have to talk to people. Like, it'll be 7 a.m. He'll be having a full-blown conversation. And I'm like,
wow.
Oh, like,
wow, you just don't throw me under
no, like,
Yo.
Under the bus.
under the bus.
Forward and back.
So yeah, but I think I gravitate towards people that are more like outgoing because I'm like really quiet. But like when I was younger, I did like go out to like try to be like the life of the party type of person. It was fun for a moment, but yeah, just like as I got older, I just kind of just went back to my little shell and just like being more just like to myself. And I mean, I have friends that are extrovert people and it works. I mean, you know, I think it's just a balance. I think there's a place and time to be intro and extro.
I would definitely say that situationally you can be extroverted, but in the right setting, usually you'll come out of the shell and be a whole different Bernie.
Yeah.
Move too.
Right.
She's gonna try to move too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Busy. Cynthia, the extroverts. What are you attracted to, and what is attracted to you?
Well, back in my early days of attraction, I don't even remember those days anymore because I've been married so long.
All right.
Yeah.
And, socially. Okay.
I'm just testing you.
I tend to have interests that attract a lot of extroverts. So
right.
It's like I like hiking, I like nature, I like working out. So I like talking about like data. I love data and facts and stuff like that. So I think that kind of draws people that tend to talk or be more extroverted. And once, you know, we get in a common conversation, I'm extremely extroverted. You know, you kind of get lost in time or whatever, in space. I think Haskell and I have that in common. You know, we'll start a conversation about one thing and it'll go all over the place. So I tend to enjoy very quality and conversations that lead me to learn new things. Because learning is life, you know? So, but then there's times we've been at events and I'll grab Genesis's hand and be like, socially awkward. And then she'll just let me sit in a chair in the corner, literally, and just bring me stuff. And I feel like immobilized. So I think, you know, okay. And she can read that. So, you know, she's like, let's just sit here and eat the olives off the bar, you know, and then that's what she and I do. But I think I am drawn more to people that are extroverted because of my common interests.
Hey, what about you, Genesis?
I dated an introvert, and at first, like, I thought he was so mysterious. I'm like, ooh, like, what is it about? I'm so quick to be reactive, but with that, I kind of got bored. I'm not gonna lie, and this is no offense to introverts. Like, I love that.
Yo, you don't have to apologize.
It's a safe space.
Like what you like.
We're on our 5th movie. Let's go outside. Let's touch some grass. And so now the dating game has been very interesting. Now I'm talking to people that are more, social, but not too social, where it's just like you're doing the absolute most, just like you read the room vibe. And I really like people that are conversationalists, like my mom was saying, someone that can keep a conversation, be as interested in me as I am in you. There has to be sacrifice on both ends. If you're an introvert, I'll watch a couple movies with you, but you gotta go out with me. Like, we have to switch it up.
Yeah, you gotta come outside.
Just a little bit.
All right. Alicia.
Yes, dear.
Who you attracted to?
Who are you attracted to? And what type of people are attracted to you?
Girl. I'm attracted to J. Vincent B and J. Vincent B only. So whatever he is. No. I would say extrovert. I always looked at Jay as an extrovert. Because he's in a music group. They was outside. They was, as far as I'm concerned, y'all was all ladies, men. And so I always looked at Jay as no, I'm not lying. No, I always looked at you as an extrovert, and I still think you're definitely more of an extrovert than an introvert. It's kind of the same thing, Bernie. It's like, it's like 8:00 in the morning. You having a full blown conversation,
Right?
Like, I'm not even coherent at 8:00 in the morning. Like,
I'm sorry.
and like laughing, and I'm just like, I can never. So I think you're more of an extrovert, dear, to be honest. But if you want to say that you're an introvert, then that's fine. But I think that I attract, as far as like friendships, definitely introvert. And I think that maybe because they see the extroversion in me, like when we're outside and we're doing stuff, and they gravitate towards that. I think what's frustrating about that, though, is when I do want to be extroverted and I want to be outside and I'm like, hey, let's go to these parties or, go to this show or whatever. Then they kind of like, no, I don't know. It's not really my scene. Or so I'm going outside by myself because they're not extrovert when I want to be an extrovert. So definitely attracted to extrovert. But I attract introverts, like as far as friendships are concerned.
I see.
Sweetheart.
Yeah.
Steve.
Here we go. See, I'm not even gonna address that because I don't want to see Haskell laugh this entire
wait, did he say sweetheart?
Episode, right?
Episode. Cynthia, did he tell you the story? I know he told you the story.
Yeah.
Well,
but
sweetheart story.
Yo, that's another podcast.
Another podcast.
Hey, sweetheart.
But
you ain't right, Haskell. You ain't right.
Hey, did you turn around?
Yes.
I certainly did. I certainly did.
Yes, I know the story now. I tried to forget it. The Lord in me tried to forget the story. But...
Thank you.
Extroversion moment. That was the extroversion moment.
Oh God.
Yo. Haskell said something last episode. He was like, I'm extroverted with people that energize me, but introverted with people that don't energize me. And so, like, I think it's very possible. Like, I'm extroverted with people whose energy I feed off of, but I am drained by people who are exhausting.
Yeah.
And so that's where the introversion comes in, because I have to recharge. So the next question that I will pose to the group is, if you could change your personality type, would you? If you could go from being an extrovert to just being an introvert, would you do it? If you could go from being an introvert, Bernie, to being an extrovert, would you change?
I think I would, because sometimes like being an introvert, people don't really take you seriously, or they feel like you're so quiet, like you're not really assertive. You know, you can't like stand up for yourself. That's kind of like the, you know, like people kind of think of you as being an introvert. So I think being an extrovert would definitely kind of give, you know, like that confidence, or just like, you know, that outgoing personality.
Yeah, I hear you. Angel, would you change? Would you swap out your introversion for extroversion to be the life of the party?
No. I would.
Respect.
I mean, okay, so I don't know. There are situations where part of me is like, well, maybe I could be more extroverted in certain situations, but at times I realize, you know, when I have to be, like work situations, I know how to turn it on and turn it off. Like in college, I worked at a health club and I sold gym memberships. So I was like chatty and I sold tons of gym memberships. Like,
okay.
Very extroverted in situations, but when it came to like my personal life, I definitely was more introverted. And so there was other jobs that I've had where they forced me to do like these like what are they called? Like the speeches that you give. Yeah, it was like kind of like a speech class, a
Toastmasters.
That's it, Toastmasters. So I did like a Toastmasters. I've done speech classes, and I got an A in my speech class. I got I did really good in their Toastmasters for my job, and it's like when I'm prepared, when I'm forced to do it, then I can do it. So would I change myself? No.
Wow. I think to Bernie's point, people assume when you're introverted that you like can't speak. It's
Right.
like, no, it's not that. I can talk. I just don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
So it's the total difference. I don't have a problem communicating. I just don't see the need to talk to you right now. And that's a whole totally different game switch. Genesis, would you swap out your introversion for that, or your extroversion for that introvert life to see what that's like?
So like, it would change who I am. Like now that I'm kind of in this self-love journey, I'm just kind of like don't want to switch. I'm kind of trying to accept what it is now. So maybe I will dive a little bit more into my introversion, but I don't think I would switch.
Cynthia, would you switch? That's pretty straightforward. Alicia, would you switch?
You already know my answer.
Hell no.
Hell no.
No.
No, you know me. I'm all about being who I am. I am what I am. And like I said, I already tried the extrovert life, and it's draining, yo. It is very exhausting. So I am happy being an introvert, and when I have to turn it on for my profession, and I turn it on, and then when I'm done, turn it off, and then you don't see me for 2 weeks. because I'm at the house drained from social interaction.
Wow. Well, what's interesting, and anybody can chime in on this, but who do you think wins more in society? Who sees the most success, whatever that means? Maybe let's define success superficially. Financial success, fame, recognition. Is it the introvert or the extrovert? Yeah, Genesis.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Ladies first, Genesis, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. I would say that there's benefits to both. I've been reading like the 48 laws of power, and I think like with introverts, they don't show all their cards at once. So they're able to read the day, see how people operate before being so vocal. Whereas with extroverts, they tend to, they might dominate the energy and atmosphere in different spaces, and they might be respected quicker. But I feel like introverts are able to like sit back, be very observational, and really just play their cards wiser, because they don't speak so quickly. They really sit and watch first.
Yeah, that's a great point. Anybody else? Sean?
With Sean.
You, sir.
You, sir.
That immediately made me think about the conversation we were having earlier about like the alpha male versus the sigma male versus the beta male versus the gamma, delta, omega males. And I was like, like the guy who shows all their cards, like I feel like most people gravitate towards him faster, and that usually like crowns him the alpha male, just because like he says and shows what he has first. And it's like, it just makes you think, it's like, is he the alpha male because he shows you his cards, or is he just the first person to show his cards? Like, and I do feel like a lot of people are attracted to the guy that tells you out the gates, yo, sweetheart, I'm a billionaire and this is my condo right up here on the beach. It's like, I feel like people are like, oh, snaps. Like, he's that guy, before they even know who this guy is, because he just showed you and told you who he was. And I feel like, going back to the question of, who I guess is more accepted and who's more successful, is probably that guy, because in 2023, like, you got to play your cards quick, and the person that draws quick and tells you who they are usually gets the most publicity out the gates. Like, he's winning. He wins the 100-meter dash, but is he gonna win the marathon? That's to be determined. Sorry, am I making any sense?
I mean, yeah. And that opens up. Were you saying something, Askell?
Yeah, I was just saying, I think that's why the dating scene is jacked up right now, because the cats that are not putting it out all in the beginning, they're not getting much love. And, and a lot of times they're the best ones for the situation.
Yeah.
They just don't feel the need to, expose everything. And they're like, yo, I'm gonna sit in my corner. And when I'm recognized and when I'm noticed, you'll see the diamond. But they're not getting that, because social media is all about put it out there. You are your business card. So and that's the unfortunate thing, because people don't have patience enough to wait long enough to find out, like, wow, this person's a really genuine, beautiful person, but they ain't showing me the cards fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. It sucks, especially in the dating world. Like I feel like, I mean, aside from the dating world, I feel like that was kind of the move that is a little off topic, but that's kind of the move that Kanye made, and people kind of, you know, came down on him for that. Like when you, even Muhammad Ali, like it's the upfront, I'm telling you that I'm great move. Like, hey, I'm great. Like, and a part of me is like, bro, why are you doing that? But when you look at this arena that we're in, it's like, in order to get people to even look at you, you gotta make those bold statements to say, hey, I'm great. And then when they look at you, like, you just want the views. Like, you need the views first. And then decide on whether or not you're great. But you gotta say, yo, I'm the greatest rapper alive. Or like, can't nobody beat me in the ring. I'm the nicest of the nicest. Like, I feel like that's taking on the alpha male persona in order to get any type of traction, you know. But I don't know if that's even your MO, or I feel like that's the game you need to play in order to compete.
Yeah.
I think the confidence level that you're talking about is something that makes people gravitate towards that personality. Mm-hmm. So if you show your cards and you're confident with how you present your characteristics, that's something that brings people reinforce like belief.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I also think too that our time with people, it could be very limited. So we're a lot of times in social settings where you might be with somebody 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, and you have to determine what you're going to leave that person with, you know? So I think a lot of times when we're, for lack of a better term, selfish, and we're just like, oh, why am I here? What am I going to get out of this? Like, dang, I'm reading the room. I don't really care about these people. I just want to go. Like, I'm out of my element. There's a reason that we're in spaces a lot of times. And it's either to sow a seed or to receive something. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we try to play a situation so cool based on what social media portrays, how we're supposed to move in environments, that we really miss our blessing. And we miss the opportunity to be a blessing. So personality types aside, sometimes we just need to be eager to see people and see if we're there to help, or if we're feeling some kind of way and able to receive something in the moment.
Or just be our authentic self.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't even know what that is, because, you know, based upon our environment, we're like, oh, this is not my scene. I don't have nothing in common with any of these people that are around me. Mm-hmm. And that's not always true.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be really surprised. A lot of people do that. Yeah, for sure.
So in those instances where we are almost forcing ourselves to kind of step out of our comfort zone, or be someone that we might not normally be, what are some of the consequences, both good and bad? Because I'd be interested to know. I know that, like you said, you know, there can be, you know, circumstances where you take yourself out of your element and you actually meet someone who you find that has more in common with you than you ever imagined. But there are also circumstances where we see people who oftentimes lose themselves trying to be a certain type of personality in a space where it just wasn't needed, in an effort to just fit in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do we navigate those situations and know when to push ourselves and know when to also, you know, remain authentic to who we are at all times? For
me is vulnerability. Like, that's what I'm always like sacrificing. Like I always feel like I'm freaking Noah in the last days. And because I'm not really into like small talk. So like I immediately like if I'm in a space where I'm feeling just comfortable enough to be myself, I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna talk about the things that interest me. And it's gonna go one or two ways. Like, oh yo, this dude is weird as F. Or yo, I was thinking the same thing. And so like me being my authentic self, I'm always putting myself just, you know, kind of on a limb to be like, yo, this person might completely rock with me, or this person might go back and tell everybody, don't talk to this dude, because I tried to have a normal conversation with him and he jumped straight into some Sodom and Gomorrah stuff, and it just got weird. I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't, he's different. He's just different, not in a good way. Yeah. So it's just being vulnerable.
Story in the Bible, but Sodom and Gomorrah, bro.
He said, what? Oh yeah.
Not what this podcast is about.
Yo, pause.
Pause.
I'm not on some Sodom and Gomorrah stuff, but you know what I mean.
We know what you meant.
Y'all know what I mean.
You gotta clarify for the people listening, though.
Yeah. My bad. I'm not on some Sodom and Gomorrah.
You cleared that up.
Don's on timeout. He's on timeout.
See, exactly. This is what I'm saying.
You know what? They was gonna let that fly. They wasn't even gonna help you out, bro.
Yo,
little bird.
They just gonna let you talk about Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yo, you want to talk? That's what you want to talk about, bro. That's where you.
And you're either gonna walk away from this podcast and say, "Man, he's weird," or "Hey, that's what I was thinking."
What happens? This is what happens every time. It happens every time.
Oh, somebody out there is listening with the Sodom and Gomorrah poster. Like he gets it.
No. It is.
But
He
This is why I don't
gets it.
talk. This is why I don't talk. This is why I stay in my turtle shirt.
That's my favorite.
We're just the Ninja Turtles out here.
I think in discerning whether or not to be authentic, the biggest benefit really is having authentic connection. So if you do run that risk and you jump out on the ledge, at least you get a true representation of how somebody feels. I think that's the biggest benefit. So
you darn right about that. As that, hell yes. Like, you know who's about to rock with you and who's not. Like, you know who's about to be fake, who's not. Because you can't fake that. If I say Sodom and Gomorrah, you can't fake around. You can't just go. You can't just.
or even just the things that you really are interested in, what you're convicted about, whatever you're excited about. You know, some people will they'll rock with you and be on the boat with you, or they're like, nah,
you solo dolo on this.
Yeah.
Solo on this big dog.
I for like
Respects.
myself, like I have like resting bee face a lot, and I mean it's just something I can't know.
You know about that,
you know, and so if I'm not walking into a space smiling, like somebody might think something's wrong with me, or I'm mean, or I'm unapproachable. And literally, I won't even think of myself in that way, right? And then you get to know people and they're like, oh, you know, I thought you were like in your head, or, you know, that you were like upset about something. And I think the challenge with that is then you feel like you have to walk into a space smiling and acting like you're like, hey,
yeah.
I don't want to look like
with the jazz hands everywhere you go.
I'm upset. I got out the car the other day and I was thinking about something, and this guy said, "Go on, bro, got the."
Wow.
The morning I'm at the park, I was admiring a squirrel. Like I was like really excited to be there. Honestly, I saw a coyote, and then he's like, "Didn't I was gonna come over and see if you needed prayer?" And I was just like, dang, I forgot to just walk out of my car smiling.
Like guys do that a lot. They'll be like, let me see your teeth.
Let me see your teeth. So
He's trying to holler.
we gotta get out of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
People judge us as soon as you walk into a space. They make up their mind about you, you know. And so even if Alicia's introverted, but her whole look is extroverted, she's about to go to a show or something, and she's just like, hi, how are you? And grab a cup of coffee. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's so stuck up. She just thinks she's all that. And it's like, they're trying to read and label, and you're not fitting into the paradigm that people imagine you to be. And I think maturity helps you come out of that and give people a moment.
Yeah.
Let me say hi to you. Let me greet you. Let me not make any assumptions. But that's just maturity.
I think men have a lot more free, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think men in society have a lot more freedom to feel. Listen.
Break it down, Jen.
Feel, but like, what is it?
Walk into
be. What is this called? Characteristically, like physically. Well, I guess not. Cause
explain.
Okay, I'm gonna use the angry black woman analogy.
I was just gonna say that.
Are literally like pounded. Like if I go to a gas station, let me see you smile. Let me see you happy. Like why are you doing that? It's just like a persistence. Whereas if a man gets out the car and he's just handling his business, you're not really gonna get any women coming up to you and be like, oh, you look so angry. Like, oh, you look
pushback.
No, it's not gonna get that same energy.
Yo, you get a different energy though.
Kind of going back to just how we operate in society. What's the 3-wing 2? What is it called?
Oh, the Enneagram?
The Enneagram.
Enneagram, yes.
One of my weaknesses was heavily focused on social image, and that'll literally be the death of you, because you just go around life thinking like I need to be exactly who other people need me to be. And it's like, you can't live like that, because it just makes the world, that's why everybody's clones of each other. Nobody has like a true identity and like really walking in their truth, because they're so fearful of how it'll be interpreted, how it'll be received. Like, you just got to do you. Yeah.
That's good.
Yo, black men have a little bit to deal with. Like,
and that wasn't to dismiss what y'all go through at all, like, for real.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand. I definitely understand the angry black woman, but the angry black man he's a threat. Like, he's dangerous
everywhere.
Like, if I'm not walking around with the Carlton smile, doing the Carlton dance, like
talking proper, right?
Like, people
I'll take off these glasses.
Yo, people are clutching purses. People are calling the police, like for no
crossing
reason.
The street. Absolutely.
Just because I won't smile, like I am a threat I'm a menace to society.
Yeah.
I am the worst kind of human on the face of this earth. If I'm not, hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? Like, like, is
that black women or people of color, or predominantly Caucasian people then? Like, do you feel like if you walked into a room in a space of predominantly people of color and you're not smiling, do you feel like they're interpreting you as an angry black man, or they just see you?
Well, that Negro mad at something.
It all depends. It depends on how I'm dressed. It depends on how I'm dressed.
Got his angry clothes on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like regulate.
Like if I'm sagging with a red hat and some red shoes,
or them black horses,
or like, yo, you don't know. You don't know if I'm coming in here to start trouble with you or even white people. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, it all depends on how I'm dressed that day. But either way, like, we are conditioned to look at the black man as like, yo, he might shoot up everybody in this building right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, I wanted to say, I know we're over time, but it's okay. Because I think for this one in particular, we can just transition smoothly up on some just cutting. So I don't know if you have any more questions or, but I like this. I like what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's just so fast.
Just
Yeah.
say something at the end.
Oh, you wanted to say something? Oh.
No,
Not you.
Oh
my God.
Yo,
Angry black man.
Yo, here we go. The angry black man. Yo. To Genesis's point and Sean's point, there's each of us carry a certain amount of expectation in society, and we constantly have to fight against it, really, and at the same time preserve our own authenticity. And so it is a challenge. It is a challenge that we step up to every day. And as Cynthia says, there's a level of maturity that has to take place in order for people to get past those expectations and really just allow us to show up as we are. And because most people do not have that maturity, we are in a world where we are forced to really just show up as ourselves, understanding that other people will not get it and will ask us to smile when we don't feel like smiling. Wonder why, or see us as a threat when we're just walking down the street. People who will cross the street just to get away from us because they see us, or people who will run over to us and get in our face because they see us. And we navigate this on the everyday basis, and we're just shining light on it, and so we could go into a whole nother conversation, and we will, because we haven't even really defined the personality traits that Sean Don has been alluding to, because there are, there's the alpha, the gamma, the sigma, the beta, and there are different versions for men and women. And it's very, very interesting. I was just reading that the perfect husband is a beta male. Someone who is easy going, go with the flow, faithful, responsible. And there are, and no male wants to be called the beta male. Like, no one wants to be called that. And so, very interesting stuff, and it's wild, and I would love to read it, but we just don't have time tonight. I want to respect everybody's time. So if there's any final thoughts, please go ahead and share. I'm gonna let everybody get their shout outs in. So we can start with let's start with Stevie and Angel, if there's any final thoughts or shout outs y'all want to give.
Final thoughts. I say no matter what, whichever personality trait you fall in, always remember just to be your authentic self. Nothing comes stronger than that when it comes to like who you are. You will shine in your own way, no matter who you are. And I say always remember just be your authentic self. Don't always try to follow a guideline of things like horoscopes or Enneagram and try to fit into that pattern. You were created the way you were for a reason. And so always remember, be your authentic self. You have your own purpose.
Well said.
Oh, thank you, wife.
Nice. The Lewises, any final thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of times we want to satisfy the people that are in the rooms with us. I would definitely say that when we do that, we actually work harder than we need to. When you are your authentic self, you see exactly who rocks with you and who will gravitate to you. Those are the people that are meant for you. So I like to work smarter, not harder, and being authentic is the best way to do that. You have any shout outs?
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Alicia, any final thoughts, shout outs?
I mean, my final thoughts coincide with what Stevie and Sean Patrick had to say. I'm always all about being your authentic self. So continue to be you, whatever you are, introvert, extrovert, omnivert, ambivert, whatever it is, just do you and do it well. Shout outs. You know what? Shout out to everyone who respected the month of July. Shout out to everyone who did not piss me off in July. I love y'all. That's my shout out.
For sure. For sure. Sean Don, any final thoughts, shout outs?
Yo, just shout out to my team for creating a safe space for a very odd person like myself. I appreciate y'all giving me a platform to actually just be me. So, love y'all.
Yo, love you too, bro. The House of Jackson.
I'll start with song. Be who you are for your pride. Y'all know that video?
Hey.
It's a song, like he was like singing "Be Who You Are." It's funny. But,
Okay.
All right.
Have to pull that up. Have to pull that up for the next podcast.
Heck yeah.
Thank you,
You
Genesis.
gonna shout everybody else?
It's funny, bro.
Shout out to the people watching. We love you.
Y'all.
Give yourself permission to change and grow. The person you were yesterday may not be the person you are tomorrow. And
Amen.
the personality you had 10 years ago, you don't have to be tied to that for the rest of your life if you want to change. And the people that love you will be there with you as you grow. Shout out to everybody that loves plants.
Yeah.
Yo, plant life.
And what kind of plant, Cynthia?
Yo, Herbalife.
There's plenty of people who like plants.
Which ones?
All of the plants.
All of the plants.
Yo.
All of the
I would say, you gotta take the words out of my mouth, give yourself grace, because it doesn't matter, like you can be someone 1 month, 1 season, and trauma has the power to change you.
Yes.
Triggers have the power to change you. Loss, even growth. So give yourself grace to be who you are at that moment. And even if you change a bit, either you're growing or maybe you had to take a couple steps back, and people begin to judge you like, you different, you changed, like really be okay with that. Like, yeah, I'm in my moment. I love the fact what you said, Genesis, you're in the season of self-love. I love that for you.
Yeah.
We know our proof. And the fact that you are loving yourself the way you are makes me feel amazing.
Yeah, you gotta love yourself. It's beautiful.
Husband.
Well, yo,
love y'all. We love y'all.
What about you, Jay Vincent? Any shout outs?
Yo, shout out to the whole team, man. Shout out to anybody that's listening to this that's trying to find themselves. We're sending you love and support, and keep going. Keep going. You are amazing. You are fearfully and wonderfully created, and just walk in that. Thanks everybody for coming in. We're gonna have to do this again. It's freaking awesome.
This was fun.
Music for your mental in the building. So we're just gonna ride out on one of our favorite artists.
Made in the image of you.
Hey.
Made in the image of you.
Young C.
Young C.
Made in the image of you.
Love yourself because you were made in his image.
That's it.
Genesis, 127 thing, hold up, let me meditate, hold up, get a second take, tell me who are you to say that I wasn't made in his image, knew the way that he started me and my finish, so I don't look how they look, ain't my business, I don't need no social security number, he's my identity, and everything that he stored within me, even when insecurities try to tempt me, try to make me believe there's something wrong with me, he made a permanent purchase, he didn't rent me, with God's love, I'm full, never on empty. No wonder the enemy trying to trip me up. But like I'm calling an Uber guys that'll pick me up. And when I'm reading his word, that's where he lifts me up. Like in Psalms 141:8, fix my eyes on you. Isaiah 26:3, my mind is on you. And you'll keep me in perfect peace. Then waste your time on me, now my time's on you. Not only my outside, but my inside too. You gave me the confidence for the things I do. You help me rest and you in the work you finish. This what it sounds like to be made in God's image. Image, image, image. Image, 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 image. I know I was made in the image of you.